Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So today what I want to do is take apart this jacuzzi or pool style motor filtration system. Found it on garbage day. Unfortunately, it was taken apart somewhat. Someone did remove the appliance wire as well as remove the cap on here. But looking at it, there are still some excellent scrappable materials still on this. And you will find these sometimes on garbage day. People are replacing their motor, it burnt out, or they're replacing their pool jacuzzi unit altogether or getting rid of it. So you can find these, and it is an excellent source of scrap. So what I'm going to do today is take it apart, show you how to identify the material, and more importantly, how to separate it properly, maximize your profit, and divert as much of this away from the landfill as possible. So here we go. Gonna start, as mentioned, someone did cut the appliance cord that goes to the wall. Looks like something like this. And as you can see inside, if I was to show you, there are 3 coated strands of wire and an outer coating. This at a scrap yard is gonna go for 40% appliance wire and currently is going for $1.60 a pound Canadian. So London, Ontario, excellent price there. I did actually remove the cap here. This is, as I said, a different model, but there are some brass prongs. Some people will leave those brass prongs on for the weight. Some people will take them off and get the clean brass. Brass right now is going for $3.23 a pound. It does depend on how much brass you have. I do take them off. I do have a separate unit or a bin for brass, but again, I have not really seen much of a difference in terms of weight for short term. Definitely long term, the more I have, the higher brass content I have. But a nice 40% appliance wire here. And unfortunately, I have seen a lot of people, a lot of scrappers just drive by and take these cords, and they are missing out on a lot. There is a motor in here. If it is copper, I'm looking at number 2 copper and is currently going for $3.60 a pound. So copper continues to be our scrapper's gold. The frame of this, as you can see, it is magnetic. So that shell there is going to be tin. I see some nice wire in here, some brass. So tin right now is going for about 9 to 10 cents a pound in Sarnia, Ontario. It's going for about 14 cents a pound Canadian in London, Ontario. So tin, another great item, continues to stay at a high price and does not take a lot to build up weight or profit. So great items here. Can't wait to get inside of here. I have already removed some of the screws, and this does have, once I remove my last screw, a capacitor in here. Right here, this capacitor, I talk often about these, the dangers that they could store a little bit of charge. Microwaves are another one. So in order to start tackling this, I do want to address the capacitor first, make sure there's no charge. And all I'm gonna do is take a rubberized handled pair of either side cutters or pliers, and I'm just gonna touch both prong connectors together. Now it is alleviated or eliminated any potential charge. And this capacitor here, if I put a magnet to it, you can see it is magnetic. The shell of this is tin. There are some that are plastic, like this one. This is another capacitor, actually came out of this. I just took it apart, but this one is plastic. And this one came out of a microwave. This one, the difference you can see, it is not magnetic. So this is actually an aluminum shell. I do have some scrappers say that they do remove the inner oil and guts out of this, if you will, to get this as clean aluminum. Clean aluminum is going for about 50 cents a pound. I am going to do an upcoming video to see if it's worth it. I actually just throw all of my capacitors into a category. There are categories for capacitors. Doesn't matter what they are made of. It's not a great price, but it's better than nothing. It's about 5 cents a pound. So 3 capacitors here. But as I said, I am going to do an upcoming experiment to see if the aluminum ones are worth taking apart to, get that clean aluminum. So the tin one, I'm not going to do anything. Like I said, it's about 9 cents for that shell. I'm just going to leave it for the 5 cents. But again, stay tuned for that. But capacitors, now that all of them are eliminated of charge, it's easy to handle. Okay. I do want to address the faceplate, as I said, or the top there. That too is tin, so some more tin there. Inside of here, if I move this around, you can see this metallic looking cover here. It has been opened, so I don't know who opened that, but this is cast aluminum, okay? And there are a couple bolts that I need to remove just to address the nice stuff in there. I can see some brass for sure. All of my screws, I'm going to make sure I keep in my tin. Okay, just removing the last couple. I always have a magnet close by as well when I am taking items apart. Easy to store them. Okay, but I'm just going to pull this cap off here. Oh, there we go. Remove that. Take off. I got a couple wires in the back, but some really nice wire. This wire that you see right here is going to be an example of what we call the upgrade 60% wire. So the rule here, 1 layer of plastic. There is my copper inside of it. So this is going for right now at 60% appliance wire, $2.68 a pound. So you do want to make sure you separate this from your 40%, a lot better value. I also will remove the brass prongs here, just cut them off with a side cutter. So there is some brass, there is my wire, my 60% appliance wire. I do have a separate bag. Word to the wise, make sure as you are going along scrapping, you have 2 separate containers. I made the mistake when I first started, had one big bag, threw all my wire in there, and when it came time to go to the scrapyard, I separated it. It took me several hours to do. So do it as you're going. You're going to save a lot of time, but some brass and my 60% appliance wire. Here is a couple connectors. Look at that really nice yellow brass there. I am going to pull those off of there. Very easy, just snip them off, cut it. I could probably just feed it through the plastic. So there is some plastic on here. I always can also just hit it with a hammer just to relieve that plastic. But some nice brass there that I'm gonna get, yellow brass again, $3.23 a pound. And I do also want to mention with your brass, it doesn't matter if it's the yellow brass or the prong style like this. All of this brass is going to go in the same category, okay? So you don't have to separate the yellow from the coated. It's all brass, one container, okay? I do also have right here some really nice long screws that I have already removed, okay? There are some big bolts as well that I have removed here, and I actually, on the topic, just used my handy ratchet set. Look at this beautiful ratchet set that you just see here. I actually found this 3 weeks ago on garbage day. Someone was replacing their tools, so it had a complete set, and this is part of it. So excellent, I didn't have to buy another one. I have now 2, so spare, one for the house, one for the garage, or one for the shed. So tools are another great things you can find while scrapping. But there, right here, is some really nice screws, long screws, and here is a thick one. And this is another question I had from a viewer. What is the difference between tin or shred or steel? In order for something to be classified as steel at a scrapyard, it has to be thicker than a 1/4 inch. So a lot of structural beams. And as you can see, some nuts like this or bolts like this are thicker than a 1/4 inch. So I could put this into a steel pile. It's about 2 to 3 cents more a pound Canadian, but it does depend on how much you have. I don't get a lot of steel. All of your outer coatings or panels from appliances are tin, so I throw it all in as tin shred. If I had a separate truckload that was just steel, then I may separate it, but for 2 to 3 cents more a pound, only having about 15 pounds usually when I go to the scrapyard, I just throw it all in as tin shred. But that hopefully answers that question for you. But some really nice bolts for sure. You do also want to make sure you check some of your bolts, especially when it comes to anything that deals with water. A lot of your inner bolts and screws from dishwashers, for example, can be stainless steel. And if they're stainless steel, which means they are completely non-magnetic, they're going for about 77 cents a pound. So I actually have a big container here full of those, so I'm going to get stainless steel price for those at 77 cents a pound. This container is also stainless steel, so it's great that it's all one. And this actually weighs 12 pounds as is, so that's great there. But your bolts, okay, have already removed it, taken off this plate. Just gonna take off this motor. The rest of this filtration system does have a couple little bolts right there, but the rest of this is plastic. So I'm just gonna put this off to the side. I can probably have this in the recycling. There is also a small piece right there that is metallic that I'm just gonna hit out. So that is a nice piece of tin or shred that I'm gonna throw in as well. But the rest of this is going to be recycled. Some people, some municipalities will not take heavy plastics. I have seen some of my viewers comment that, especially out east, that scrapyards will pay you a separate category for plastic, which is excellent incentive. I wish that in Southwestern Ontario they would do that too, because I throw, unfortunately, a lot of my plastic into garbage if it's not recyclable, because we don't have the means to recycle it properly, and we don't have the government incentive at the scrapyard. So hopefully, Ontario, you will get on board with the rest of the provinces and start taking this in to minimize the amount that goes to the scrap or the landfills. But here is some plastic. The motor here, I am very excited to look at. I'm gonna turn it around. This piece right here, my connector, just gonna remove it. I'm gonna put this on a magnet. This is probably gonna be, put a magnet. This is good stainless steel that you see here. I do have to remove the bolt, but very heavy ring here. Stainless steel, as I said, going for 77 cents a pound. You do wanna make sure that it has no magnetic attraction. Sometimes there are a few little screws bolting it in, but this is completely non-magnetic. So some good stainless steel. So that's a great value there. My motor inside of it, just going to start tackling the screws there. Open this up. I am very excited to see if this is going to be copper windings or not. But here is a great example. I just talked about screws that are non-magnetic. You can see right there, there is no magnetic attraction at all. So these are going to be stainless steel screws. So put that in a container. I want to make sure I separate them right now so I don't throw them into my tin. So again, some more 77 cents a pound. Okay, pull this piece of plastic off of here. All right. It says on the top, do not run dry. I do wonder if perhaps that was the problem. They burned out the motor. Not sure, but here is a piece of plastic. And there is. Pull this. See if I can remove this. I'm gonna see if I could actually just hit it off with a hammer. Okay, it is on there for sure. Okay, plastic. There is a cap on here. Just gonna see if I can remove as much of this out of here as possible. Okay, any screws that I have, I want to make sure I get all of them. Here again, this is a nice little cap. Inside of this is going to have a little bit of brass as well. There is some more of my 60% wire. This, if I open it, this is a lot like your transformers, your compressors, the cap on it. If I opened it, smashed it with a hammer, I'm going to get a small dot. You can see something like that. That is actually a silver contact. There's a little bit of silver on that. So I do want to open this up. There is a little bit of copper I can see on that, but again, some more brass as well. So save that off to the side. My windings here. Got to open that. Get this cap off. There are a couple springs I need to open. I'm going to see if that can open it. There, pull these springs up. That way they don't come back at my face. Okay, so move that out of the way. And what I think I'm going to do is actually just to speed up the process. There we go. Hit that off with the hammer. Okay, there is a small screw that I need to get. The cap is coming off. There we go. Pull that off. There we go. Slow and steady. Little faceplate, and I wish it wasn't moving, but it is. So that's what kind of makes it a little bit more difficult. But there we go. There's an inner screw in there that I'm trying to get. Okay, there we go. It's coming out. There it is. Gotta look if this is brass or not. Nope, magnetic. Okay, so here is my inner core. Oh, that is a really, really nice motor. So look at that. This, as I said, if I put a magnet to it, it is non-magnetic. So a really nice piece of cast aluminum, clean cast. You do want to check inside of that. There is no, there is right here. There's a little bit of magnetic attraction. Because there is a small inner ring there, I am going to get dirty cast for this. Dirty cast is only going for about 6 cents a pound. So I do have two options. If I want to grind this ring out and then the rest of this is clean, I can do that and factor in the price of a grinding disc. Or I can actually just throw this into my tin. I'm going to get more for tin than I would for dirty cast. So I could do that as well. Once I remove that steel anyway, this is probably going to be really light. So I'm just going to throw it in my dirty cast. But again, some really nice 60% wire here with some brass prongs. The motor, here we go. Whew. This, the nice thing is I don't have to do anything with this really nice big thick bolt. I'm going to throw this entire thing into my tin shred. Even with this little bit of plastic on it, I'm not going to get penalized. So this is a really, look at those muscles. So this is really nice heavy tin price right here. So again, 10 cents a pound for this. Okay, this, I'm actually just going to do one option. I'm just going to take a grinder, grind this off, but look at that beautiful winding. Moment of truth. If I scratch this and it reveals inside a metallic look, that means it's going to be aluminum winding. So if it's aluminum winding, I'm actually not going to do anything to it, but leave it in there and get tin price. If I scratch it with a file and it reveals copper, then for sure I'm going to take that out because that is number 2 copper. So fingers crossed. Okay, this is, sorry, I was getting the wire. Beautiful, look at that. Inside, right there, if you can see it, that is copper. So this is going to be worth it. Thank you, whoever that was that passed that up. I wish, I'm glad of that, but I wish you were watching my videos. But all I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna open it with a grinder. Gotta get that copper out of there. If I was to bring these copper motors in as is, there is a value for those. It's about 25 to 30 cents a pound. So that is a good price, but definitely going to get more from the copper. Just going to take my grinder, going to grind all the way down this and open it. Go. Now where's my, be careful, it might be a little hot. Okay, just gonna take that, open it, fold it up. There we go. Look at the size of this. Whew. And again, a really nice piece of tin. This is probably a motor size that you're going to get like a compressor. Really beautiful. This weighs probably 12 pounds as is. I have a scale here. I got to check. Okay, this is weighing 22 pounds. So the nice thing is once I remove the copper out of this, I'm still going to get tin shred price for the rest of this frame. Okay, this copper, I do have videos on different motors, how to take it apart, and I am going to upload, because there are different motor styles, I will upload that video in my, the link to that one in my description. But very easy, I'll start it for this video, and I will post at the end how much copper is in here, as well as how much tin. But again, number 2 copper, beautiful, beautiful score here. Like I said, there it is. Okay, copper. But all I would do again is with my grinder, I'm just gonna grind down this whole side, get this ring out, and then I'm just gonna put a punch into the holes and push the rest of it out. So again, I will for this video just start it for you to show you. Okay, I will also, because when I'm grinding, this will produce copper dust, I always have a catch basin in behind to catch any of that copper dust. That copper dust I also throw into my number 2 copper as well, so that way I don't lose any, okay? But again, just gonna show you very quickly. Usually I just have something back behind, but here it is. Okay, so I am gonna, you can see it is starting to cut off on the side there. It goes all the way around. I will pull that up. I have also tried using a Sawzall. Unfortunately with a Sawzall, I find them just very vibrational. I find grinders are the best. I have had some people actually just do it by hand. We'll use just wire cutters, and that is another option. But unfortunately, because this is a thicker motor, I am going to have to change my grinding disc, get a bigger one on there, and that's because obviously I have too much steel on there. But that, as you can see, is starting to cut through. There it is. I will upload, and I cannot wait. I'm going to say my prediction with this, probably 2.5 pounds of copper there in this jacuzzi motor. So beautiful, number 2 copper here. Some really nice tin shred, tons of it. Some more from this. Some really nice brass prongs here. You can see that I have some really nice 60% appliance wire. Unfortunately, it did not have my 40% appliance wire, but hey, I'd rather that scrapper take this and leave this for me. So thank you for that. Some really nice stainless steel, okay? And again, a lot of this diverted from the landfill. So quick video, hope you enjoyed it. Again, jacuzzi style or pool style motors, pumps, filtration systems, they are out there and an excellent source of scrappable material. So go get that scrap. Hope you enjoyed the video. Continue please posting questions. I will do my best to answer those to anyone. So again, thank you for that. Please comment again down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.